and I'll take the sedence for this meeting of the Hamilton Area Committee on the 29th of November 2023. I can see that we have present Councillor Carmichael. I have apologies from Councillors Chalmers and Clark. Also present today are Councillors Devlin, Dewar, Donnelly, Falconer, Handybode and Horn. I have apologies from Councillor Hose. Also present are Councillors Johnson Dempsey and Keat. Also present are Councillors McCreary and MacDonald. Councillor McGeever? I'm not seeing you present. Councillor McLachlan? Nope. Councillor Nelson? Nope, not seeing you either. Also present today is Councillor Razak. I have apologies from Councillor Ross. Councillor Thompson? Not seeing you either. We also have a number of officers present today, and with that I'll pass you back to the Chair to commence today's business. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks for that, Elizabeth Ann. Okay, on to item 1, declaration of interest. Do you have any declarations of interest?
I can see Councillor Devlin.
Okay. Councillor Devlin?
Oh, we've lost Councillor Devlin. Could you ask Councillor Devlin?
Councillor Devlin, we seem to have lost you. There we are. Okay, right, Maureen?
Right, Chair. David McLachlan is trying to get in because he texted me to let me know he was coming online, and Bert Thompson has given his apologies. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much. Okay, we noted that.
Yeah.
We no other declaration of interest. Then, item 2, minutes of the previous meeting, pages 3 to 8. The minutes are up for approval. Any? Okay, thank you. Item 3, items for noting. Education of Scotland report, Hamilton Grammar School. Laura Mitchell, Quality Improvement Officer, to speak, and also Head Teacher Graham Savas. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, councillors. I think most of you know me. I'm Laura Mitchell. I'm one of the Quality Improvement Officers for South Lanarkshire, and I had responsibility for Hamilton Grammar School at the time of inspection. I'm delighted to be here with Head Teacher Graham Savas today to advise members of the outcome of the school's recent HMIE inspection. Education Scotland undertook a short model inspection on the quality of educational provision within Hamilton Grammar School week beginning the 24th of October 2022, with the report published on the 3rd of October 2023. It was a short model inspection which focused on 2 quality indicators from How Good Is Our School. These were 2.3 learning, teaching and assessment, and 3.2 raising attainment and achievement. The school received grades for each of these indicators, as well as a more detailed written report of findings which highlights particular strengths and areas for continued improvement. I'm delighted to inform you that Hamilton Grammar School were evaluated as being good for both quality indicators. This was a well-deserved and positive result for the school. An evaluation of good indicates that important strengths have been identified in the school's work alongside some areas for improvement. Graham will talk you through these important strengths shortly. Hamilton Grammar School is located in the town of Hamilton, South Lanarkshire, and at the time of inspection the school had 1,327 pupils. 28% of pupils live in the Scottish Index of Multiple Deprivation deciles 1 and 2, and 19% of pupils are entitled to free school meals. The school received £149,450 in pupil equity funding in 22-23 to narrow the poverty-related attainment gap. The current head teacher has been in post since May 2016, and he is supported by 6 deputy head teachers and 2 heads of year. The 3 areas for development noted by Education Scotland had already been identified by the head teacher and his team as part of their own school self-evaluation. The school are already working on the identified areas for continued improvement, and these are central to the school's school improvement plan. The head teacher has clear plans in place to support high quality learning and teaching and to continue to raise attainment for all learners. As quality improvement officers for the school, we continue to work with the school to support their plans for improvement. Education Scotland have intimated that they are confident that the school will be able to take forward the areas for improvement and will make no further visits in connection with this report. I will now pass to Graham, who will provide a bit more detail around the inspection, including the key strengths identified by Education Scotland. Thanks, Graham.
Thanks for that. Graham.
Okay, thank you, Laura, and thank you, Chair. I'll stick to the high ground on this one here, and I'll just give the points of note in terms of the strengths for each of the two quality indicators. Firstly, for 2.3, learning, teaching and assessment. I was pleased to note that relationships throughout the school and the inherent ethos around the grammar had been noted by the team from Education Scotland. Also noted the vision and values were more than just words on a page or nebulous aspirations, but were actually evident in the interactions around the school over the week. The inspectors also noted a high level of commitment from staff to improve and deliver for students, and they thought that our plan and execution of our digital strategy for the benefit of students was also commendable too, in terms of learning, teaching and assessment there, quality indicator 2.3. Move on to 3.2, attainment and achievement. What was noticed was that we had a clear plan and a focus for our improvement. They also commended our tracking and monitoring approaches. They noted our attainment in the senior phase in S4, 5 and 6. Another point of merit was our inclusive approaches. Remember, we have the Hamilton area provision for additional support needs, and they said that our equity agenda was also a key strength of the provision. Closing the poverty-related attainment gap was given a level of support also found to be commendable, as was our positive destinations work over the piece. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Any questions?
Sorry, I was just going to say thanks, Graham. And that I would just ask the committee to approve the recommendation to note our Education Scotland report, and we're happy to take any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks. Are there any questions?
Councillor Keat.
Councillor Keats.
Thank you very much, Chair. It was just to pass on my thanks to Graham and the rest of the team. A massive congratulations. I know the stress that can put on the school and the staff in terms of your day-to-day activities. So I just want to pass on my thanks to yourself and the rest of the team at Hamilton Grammar.
Thanks for that, Councillor Keats.
Councillor Carmichael.
Councillor Carmichael.
That's me, green for go. Apologies for that. I just want to endorse what Councillor Keats has said, and congratulations to the school. I know it's can be taxing at times, but you've done rather well according to the report, and long may it continue. And again, pass on congratulations to all your staff and also the pupils as well. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that, Councillor Carmichael. Any other questions? Could I just ask a question myself? The ASN, is that full? Is that the quota for the ASN part of the school?
The ASN part of the school is... Our ASN function in the school is full. Yeah, we are allocated from inclusion. They give us our allocated numbers there, and it is full. Yeah.
Right. Thanks for that.
Councillor McLachlan.
Councillor McLachlan. Yeah,
Thanks, Chair.
David.
Thanks for the opportunity. I just welcome the words from Councillor Keat and Councillor Carmichael. As a local member, I think it's only fitting that I add my own positive comments and well done to the school, and thanks very much for everything you do for the school. I'd like to mention also there's a strong parent council at the school, and I'm sure the head teacher would welcome me saying that, and I think it's worthy of saying, because the parent council are very active, very into the ethos of the school, very encompassing. I'm trying to think of some good words here to say, but it's a good school, it's a good report, I welcome that, but I just think it was worthy of mentioning the parent council who do a good job there and work well with the head teacher. That's all I wanted to say, Chair. Thanks very much.
Thanks for that, David. Any other questions, comments? No? Okay. Will committee agree to note the report? Agreed. Thank you. Okay, then you may leave if you've... I know you've got a busy day. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Cheers, thanks. Item 4, Education Resources Participatory Budget, Pupil Equity Funding. Maureen Farr to speak.
Thank you, Chair. My name's Maureen Farr. I was passed on the baton of participatory budget from Laura, who's just taken her leave. So before the summer holidays, the head teachers were informed that participatory budgeting will continue into session 23-24, and they were asked to allocate a minimum of 5% of their 23-24 PEF allocation, their Pupil Equity Fund allocation. They were also asked to identify a member of staff to lead this in their school. They were informed that the principles and practices of PB are applicable across their full PEF allocation as per the national guidance, and they were therefore encouraged to put aside more than the recommended 5% if they could. And across our Hamilton schools, the average percentage was 6.2. On the 21st of August 23, a PB training event was delivered to head teachers and PB leads who felt that they either needed a refresh or they were new to the position. Head teachers and PB leads were briefed on the process and taken through a PowerPoint presentation which outlined the expectations and timescales and the support available to them. It also drew on the learning from last session, signposting resources and good practice examples from previous years. The PowerPoint presentation was shared with all schools thereafter through our PB Teams page. Following this, head teachers identified the percentage of their 23-24 PEF allocation that they wanted to use for PB, and they were asked to submit this information to Education Resources by the 31st of August. The PB Teams continues to be a live support for anything to do with PP. In the new school year, schools within the Hamilton area have collectively allocated 224,076. I'm going to say that again, I'm so sorry. £224,076.30, which is approximately 6% of their £3,656,910 of PEF allocation. Appendix 1, which I think is page 17 in your packs, shows a breakdown of this from each of the learning communities. Appendix 2 summarises the percentage of PEF allocation that schools have allocated for PB. 74% of schools allocated the minimum of 5%, whilst 26% of schools were able to allocate more than this. A further school-by-school breakdown is outlined in Appendix 3, which is pages 19 to 24 in your packs. The PB stakeholder groups, comprising of pupils, parents and staff, are currently leading the PB process in their schools. The outcome for each school was due to be reported to Education Resources by the 9th of October, and all of the Hamilton schools were in by that time. I think they were the only area that managed to do that. So the outcome of their PB votes are in Appendix 4, pages 25 to 30. And as can be seen, many schools have used their money for school educational excursions, which we think reflects the high value that schools and their stakeholders place on making these affordable for all. So following this, we will, from Education Resources, will provide the area committees case studies of school activity which have had a particular impact or success throughout the year. And what I plan to do is bring a head teacher with me to the next committee that I attend, so that the head teacher can actually share firsthand the successes brought by PB. And we will detail the local authority financial report of how PEF money allocated for PPE has been spent in our final session, May-June. Education Resources will support schools with implementation of this and monitor and track the impact of this activity. Findings will inform any future PB activity within Education Resources. Regular PB updates and highlighting of good practice will be communicated to schools via the Equity Hub and through our @SLC Equity Twitter handle. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, thanks very much for that. Any questions?
Councillor Keat.
Councillor Keat.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just a quick observation and well done to Maureen for the report. I was a former colleague of Maureen, so I'm glad to hear that you're leading up the participatory budgeting team. I'm sure you'll do a sterling job given your previous record in the school I worked in. Just two observations from my role as an elected councillor and as the spokesperson for youth. I did pick up that there was a degree of uncertainty around how schools could spend their PB budget and whether they were doing it accordingly, whether there was other areas they could spend it. So I'm glad that we proactively acted on that and assisted our head teachers and utilised that money to the best ability. Secondly, I think it is important that schools are using it, obviously appropriate to their school demographics, but for the purposes of school excursions. I think that's a benefit for all children, particularly our most deprived and vulnerable children. So that's good that the schools have got that money to use that for. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thanks for that, Councillor Keats. Councillor Mary Donnelly.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to welcome the report. I think it's a sterling job Maureen and the team are doing in terms of encouraging the participatory budget and spend. I also welcome the fact that she's going to bring case studies forward. I took the opportunity to see in action up in St Mark's Primary School, and I was blown away with the performance of the young people actually talking about how they went about the exercise of allotting the PEF and the participatory budget and money, and it was well thought out in the way that they went about it to go and vote. So I think I welcome the case studies coming before the area committee. I think that's a welcome experience we can all share, and I'd also put a request out to every single councillor who does get engaged with the schools in their local ward that they take time out to speak to the parent councils and speak to the schools in terms of the participatory budgeting and acknowledge, and have dialogue with the kids how they went about it. I think it would be amazing. You would be amazed by their professionalism. And what I saw was up and coming politicians for the future. So it all was very good. So again, thank you, Maureen and the team. I think you have done a sterling job and you should be commended for it. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks for that, Councillor Donnelly. Councillor John Ross.
Thanks, Chair. My apologies for coming into the meeting late. I've just finished the recruitment panel, so just offer my apologies initially for that. I'd like to thank Maureen for the report. This is something which we've found that the schools are using to best effect. Gavin brought up the fact that an awful lot of the schools are using this for excursions. This is very true. If you attend any of the PTAs, you'll find that even to do the smallest of excursions from a school, if a bus is involved, even for a short period of time, the cost is really prohibitive. And it's excellent they're using this to advantage. All I would ask is, if it's possible at any time, and I know some of us have discussed this before, but if the council can in any way help to provide some of that transport for schools during the day, then it would certainly be to the school's advantage and help them use this PB money in more advantageous ways. Thanks very much.
Thanks for that, Councillor Ross. Maureen, have you any reply to that?
Thank you, Councillor. I completely agree. The cost of transport, especially in our rural schools, is quite prohibitive, and the PB money has been spent really well on that. As far as if we can provide any other money, that's not an answer I can give you, I'm afraid.
No, it's more if we've got transport during the day. If we've got vehicles that can be used that are sitting in a depot during the day, then we should be looking to try and make sure that the schools use these to best advantage. Thanks very much.
Thanks for that. Maureen, if I could just ask you a question. Page 23, John Ogilvie High School, PEF budget 142,000. The PB allocation 7,000. What is that? Page 23.
So St John Ogilvie High School, their overall PEF budget was 142,100, and they took 5% of that, which equated at the 7,105 as the money that they were going to put forward for participatory budgeting.
Okay. So they get £7,105. The reason I'm asking that, I attend the participatory budget meetings in the Hull House area. And there was the school put in for a grant of £7,000, which get outvoted against the community groups. So are schools still allowed to apply to the local budget, participatory budget?
I think schools can apply to any fund or any grant that's available to schools. A lot of grants and funds that are available are only available to community groups.
That's right.
But it would be down on whatever fund they applied for. It must have been in the rules that schools could apply.
I'm quite concerned when they've got 142,000 and they get 7,000 off the local budget in an area of urban deprivation and depriving other needy groups yet. But I'll take that up elsewhere. Thanks for that answer. Thank you.
Councillor Keats.
Councillor Keats.
Chair, just to echo Councillor Ross's point, myself and Councillor Ross attend a lot of parent councils and PTAs in our association as ward colleagues, and just by way of an update, I had a meeting with Colin Park regarding this issue, how we can utilise our fleet buses to support school transport, and he is having dialogue with Lynn Sherry to establish a mechanism by which that can be delivered. So the ball is very much rolling with that.
Okay, thanks for that, Councillor Keats. Councillor Mary Donnelly.
2 points. Yeah, I think on the school transport, when we were the administration, I checked that out, and there was a system, but they would need to coordinate with the schools, but the buses were sitting in the yard and they could be accessed with the school communicating. So very much is that the school could liaise to make sure if the buses were in the yard, then they could possibly access them. But it would obviously be up until 4 o'clock, and then the buses need to go back out for use for the disabled and different things. So, and I think the point Alan was making, I think that's OPOP, was the money with OPOP, Alan, so it is different, and it's just another bite of the cherry for the school. So, but on that occasion they didn't get it. So,
Thanks for that, Councillor Donnelly. Just on your point, when you were in administration, the buses were lying in the depot, and our social work department, in their wisdom, were charging elderly people to be transported to social work venues when they weren't being, they were sitting in the house, which is a bit wishful thinking then. But thanks for that anyway, Councillor Donnelly. Have we agreed to note the report?
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen, if she's other things to do. Thanks very much for that. We have items for decisions. Item 5, community grant applications. We have 5 community grants detailed, section 2.1. Elizabeth Ann, could you speak on that, please?
Hi, Chair. As you correctly said, we have 5 community grants as detailed at section 2.1 of your report. The recommendations are in line with the recommended amounts on the community grant guidance, and we're asking committee to approve the community grants. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Do we agree to approve the report? Thank you. Item 6, I have no notification of any urgent business, so declare the meeting closed. Thanks very much for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.